Oh, welcome, Your Holiness. It's a delight to speak with you again.
Well, it is so lovely that you came back, and of course there are so many things that happen minute to minute, moment to moment. So what will you ask me today?
Well, I really would like to ask you, you've spoken many times since the 1950s about the computer chip. How did people perceive you at that time?
Well, at that time I was in Europe, and I was known as the little prophet extraordinaire by many, many people in Europe. And so to come and ask questions then, it was, well, shall we say, a common thing for everyone to come and to sit you down and to ask their questions, and from high to low they all came and asked their questions.
What are the dangers of the chip?
Oh, you have come to the chip and you want to know about the chip. I believe that the chip is an extremely dangerous thing. First of all, we have to remember where the idea of the chip came from. And we have to also realize that we had the people that during World War II were tattooed or brandished with a number. The ones, these precious people that survived or came out of the concentration camps, out of their suffering, many of them that are still alive, they walk around with a mark of a number of when they and who or what was decided about them.
How is it being sold to people?
Well, I am going to tell you something. We have people that are being cranked up, and many people, they do not think farther than their front door. Some people, they think they should know everything that happens in the universe, and those are the ones that we need upon the planet. They will speak about and warn about, and I think that's the category you fall in, that they want to know why, how come, what is this necessary for? Well, they make you believe that your banking, your privacy is not safe, that you need to have it for convenience, that in case you went to the hospital, they have your hospital record. Oh yes, they want you to believe that, all right. But they are not telling you that some of these chips are equipped that at a certain time, and if there is a computer satellite malfunction, this chip could be activated, and the poison from this chip or the frequency from this chip could travel through your body and kill you. Also at the same time, this very same chip is robbing you of your freedom of movement.
Well, who wants the chip used on people and why?
Ah, the New World Order. Let me tell you some, shall we say, 700 years after the polar shift, during Zoroaster's time, they also had something similar. And if you went outside of the walls of either the city or the country, or whatever they decreed was theirs, then you could end up being charged or beheaded or be crucified. Zarathustra, for instance, he was charged by the emperor of the day, by the sun god, by the sun king, to be crucified and hung upside down because he had, without permission, left and gone out amongst the people to speak to the people what was going on there. And at that time he went to, I believe he went to the Valley of Goats, and he went to Tibet to teach the people. So when he came back, he was charged by the emperor.
Interesting. You speak about the branding of people that went on in World War II and the similarities today in the planned shipping. Can you explain this, please?
Well, you know, the similarities of the first, we have to go, the oldest one in our memory, of course, is the time from Zarathustra and his time. And the first 1,000 years after the polar shift. And then we have to look at the very similar thing that took place during World War II, where the powers that be, because don't think Hitler wasn't an intelligent man. He was an egotistical, confused individual who was manipulated and controlled by the New World Order, the ones that were setting up what we are seeing today. So we then had, of course, the number which some people in Christianity say number of the beast. Well, the chip is much greater than that number, because that number, if you had the ability, you could have it removed. That chip, if it is in your body, if they would chip you on the top of your head, which they are wanting to do, that is the information, that when it is on top of your forehead, wherever you go, who is going to remove that close to your brain? Which friend will do that? So they know quite well. And also the chip, when it releases its poisonous frequency or whatever, and you die, who is going to save your life? So the chip is very dangerous, and the comparisons is there. They could track you like a duck during that time, during the concentration time, and now they will be able to track you like a duck wherever you are going. Actually, the banding with numbers on the Canada geese, on the swans, on the ducks and everything else is proven that you become trackable, but with the chip you are more trackable. Your bank account, your medical records, your dental records, everything is in that chip. And don't think it makes you safer.
No. Well, that definitely answers my next question about how our freedom would be impacted by this.
Well, there you are. Your freedom is, of course, then totally lost, and you are losing it quite quickly, because you're already driving around in vehicles that are tracked like ducks. Not all vehicles, but many of them are. Your cats and dogs are chipped. They are promoting your children to be chipped. So there's your freedom.
Right.
The chip has a number, your age, whether you are dependent on some government system for your health care, for your old age pension, for whatever. And if they feel, and that's already quite obviously out there in the world, when they feel that you become a burden to their payroll, then of course that's the end of you, whether you're ready to go or not.
Well, what can we do to prevent the chip from being forced on us?
Going out there, telling all your friends, your neighbors, your children, everyone you see and meet, say no. Simple word, the most powerful word on earth. No.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this information with us again today.
Well, you are very welcome. And we shall see you sometime again, I hope. And be well.
Thank you.
Thank you.